this individual. Waste the name of Michael McRae. Last night he imbibed to beat the band, and today he's paying the seedy price. It's evening. He's having himself a little siesta, yeah? Little cat nap. Now relax yourself and pay close attention. There's a point to all this drivel.
You wouldn't happen to have it, would you?
No.
Suggest you get out and get looking then, Michael. Beg, borrow, steal.
Only get it and bring it. You've 4 more hours before Perrier's judgment comes down. You don't mind if we take these pistachios, man, do you?
It's kind of like an urban western.
I mean, it's a road movie. It's Shakespearean.
No, I don't think I could describe it.
I like the urban western thing. It sounds like it's a good soundbite, isn't it?
So it's like a chick flick. It's like a romantic comedy.
But it's just ballsy, you know.
Well, get the fuck off me then!
Where are your friends?
What we do is talking.
Freeze, motherfuckers. Moving to blow your fucking brains out. Hiya, Brian. Get in.
Hi, Jim.
Now get down on the ground, man.
Take it easy.
Down, man. Toot fucking sweet.
Toot what?
Shut up. Toot sweet.
After intermission, a film that Stephen, William, and myself produced together, that Mark O'Rourke had written, and the 3 of us were chatting about, you know, just kind of ideas, looking for something else to do. And Mark had an idea which he relayed to us in very broad strokes, which was essentially to create a kind of almost contemporary Western.
He has such a fresh voice. He wrote the script, Perrier's Bounty, that just jumped off the page. It was so funny and so dark and so romantic. We thought we've got to make it.
What attracted us to the project initially was Mark O'Rourke, and that wonderful storytelling facility he has to make you laugh, even though it's seemingly very serious in terms of the situation.
The fuck?
Is that Michael?
This is beyond the fucking beyond, man. Give me a clatter, will you? To wake me up. A good and hard one to get me blood up and running. Fuck. Good one. What the fuck are you doing?
It's not often that you come across writing that is, you know, that just, I suppose, you know, pushes the boundaries a little bit, or shifts the way you look at things, and the way you hear things, the way you see things.
You read back over your work, and there's a good satisfaction in seeing that the dialogue is well crafted and well honed, and the rhythms are right and all that kind of stuff. But it's a completely different story when Brendan Gleeson or Cillian Murphy or Jim Broadbent are saying it. You know, they just lift it up to somewhere else. It's fantastic.
It's about the writing, isn't it? I mean, you know, great actors respond to great writing, I think.
He's a very special writer, you know, and it's a huge pleasure to speak his words. And it's very precise. You can't really mess with it. You can't really tinker with it or mess around with it. You know, you have to be true to it. And when you are, it kind of really takes off.
The language is classy. That's the way. You know, you just don't get dialogue like that very often. And every actor will tell you that as soon as you read this, you want to use those words.
It's almost like Shakespearean in its inflection, but still with the flavour of Dublin and the flavour of the way that the dubs talk.
Poor Clifford, huh? Yeah, devastating, isn't it? Victor, listen, go down and nab his coke, will you?
Yeah, boss.
See, can we salvage a bit of good from this tragedy?
Michael McRae is the character that I play, and we meet him, and he's not really in a very good place.
I told you we'd get you, shithole. Yeah? Surveillance.
He's such a wreck, and things keep going from worse to bad. He's kind of in over his head But just through procrastination and not being very good at dealing with things, he's found himself in this situation.
I, who play Brenda, are in a ridiculous relationship with a guy called Shamey, who I'm totally besotted with, but has treated me like shit.
What's wrong?
He's left me.
Who?
Shamey. He called, he said it was over, he said the spark was gone, and it wasn't gone for me. He was there for me, you know? I can't live without him.
No, Brent!
Very early on in the film, Killing is in a lot of trouble and I kind of accidentally shoot someone to help him out.
You go, man, come on.
That means we're kind of sent on the run, having just been officially dumped by my boyfriend who Killing knows is cheating on me.
Perrier is, he's kind of in charge of what goes on in the neighbourhood.
What do you want us to do now?
He's waking up to keep looking.
Fucking right, write it down.
And I think he prides himself on being sensitive to others' emotional traumas. And that he, I guess, he thinks that's where his power comes from. I mean, his power actually comes to the fact that he blows people's heads off.
There was an unnecessary shame there, too. Fear.
Of what?
Your judgment, maybe?
I'd never to judge, man. Jesus Christ. Love is love. Who cares how queer or lesy?
Jim is Michael's father. And just as Michael's story is beginning to unfold, Jim comes along, who hasn't seen Michael for 4 years.
You off to drink?
Just have a yen for some Java, man. So, what other options have you?
Well, apart from shooting myself, there's this one dude who sharks occasional, name him Muttley Man.
Ah, the mutt.
That's right, you know the fuck.
Here he drinks down at the Miller's bar.
The Millers?
What about our talk?
Wait here, I'll be back in an hour.
And then we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I'm only fucking dying, Michael.
Yes, Jim, the character, knows he's going to die because the Grim Reaper visited him when he was in bed. It wasn't a dream, it was absolutely real. The Grim Reaper visited him and informed him that next time he went to sleep, he wouldn't wake up.
And I knew. He knew who he was. And he said to me, Jim, bit of bad news for you, Jim. And I said, am I dead? He said, no. But next time you sleep, man, you will be. You with me? I said, I am, man, I am. Sure, why wouldn't I be you being the Reaper and shit? And he said, that I am, man. That I am.
And Jim's got this wonderful instinctual comic timing, you know, so when he delivers the most absurd of lines and the most sort of unlikely of speeches, you just have to laugh and you have to go with it.
It's kind of a dream to work with someone who has the most incredible CV you could ever wish for and be the most normal, funny, warm, childish person.
What's up with that? There's something about Cillian that I kind of find fascinating. Even in repose, even when he's not saying anything, you're watching him and he sort of allows you to experience what he's experiencing.
I was sorry to hear you was split up.
Uh-huh. Well, it happens, doesn't it?
Have you seen her since?
Nah. I promised her I'd drop down. Well, just never seemed to happen. I mean, it's not as if we're not still mates or nothing, you know? But what I was thinking, see, why don't we go down?
Man, give me a break. You know why.
Michael, what occurred in the past, it's the past. Your mother...
Dad, I'm not going down.
He's just a very handsome, intelligent actor who was right for this role because of all those qualities he has. And also, I think there's an emotional vulnerability that he can portray.
Thanks, Dad. And, thanks, you know, for saving me bacon and shit.
You're welcome. So will you get me some Coke now?
Jesus Christ, all right.
Yeah?
Fucking shut you up. I said yeah, didn't I?
There are very few actors in the world like Brendan Gleeson You know, he's almost iconic in his own right. He's an extraordinary force.
You need to be more thorough.
Often a dude will stash a piece in his briefs, man.
Hoping that Frisker will overlook it. Which you did.
I can't think of anybody I'd rather have played that part than Brendan Gleeson. He is just astonishing.
Jodie somehow chimes with Brenda. She gets the character. She gets the kind of slightly insecure relationship that she has with Shamie, and she gets the reality of the character. And I think that's what Jodie's great at, is being real.
You still suicidal, Brian?
Oh, what? Oh, no.
That's good to hear. Why not?
Well, I'm sober now, for one. And for two, I'm kind of convinced there still might be hope. I'm not going to just give up, Jim. I'm going to fight for my man.
She's this real firecracker of energy, and it's just been great fun working with her. I mean, she just owns that character of Brenda.
Ian's a wonderful director to work with. I mean, because he was an actor, a rather trained actor at that.
He puts a big emphasis on the performance and not kind of rushing into a place where we just film it to get the stunt over or whatever. There's kind of a big emphasis on making sure of the truth of the moment, which I think is really essential.
He's a very organic way of blocking a scene and finding how a scene would play. He's very open to suggestions and to how the actors are feeling about their characters in this particular time or this particular location or what's just happened.
What's up, Michael?
I'm working on it.
I was you, I'd work harder, man.
Either that or just resign yourself. Try and find a state of zen, of acceptance, yeah?
Right, a resignation. Because we're going to be coming. Swoop it, descending. Like time and tide. We wait for no man.
I think the world of crime, the world of the underworld of Dublin or New York or London or Paris or anywhere else is a world that people are still fascinated by.
These kind of stories do happen in the news. You hear about like bodies being found, or head of drug dealing mafia being sent down for 50 years.
There'll always be good guys and bad guys, and there's always be guys and girls, and they're very fertile territory for storytellers.
But in your head you can kind of think it's a bit cool because it's on film and we know we're pretending.
Holes in walls, there's sparks, there's all these special effects that are connected to gunfights, and they are very, very time consuming. But they're a lot of fun,
Get back here, you mother! The ricochet is killing! Fuck! You nearly fucking killed me!
It's almost as if the dogs are a kind of representation of the male characters. They're growling and mean looking and constantly on the kind of the cruise, looking for a fight and ready to pounce. And in a way, that's how a lot of the male characters are. No other movie I'm ever going to make is going to have dogs in it.
If 10% of the fun ends up on the screen that we're having making it, this is going to be an absolutely gorgeous piece of work.
It's in the special Marco Rowe way where it's not conventional, but there's fighting and dogs and knives and guns and beatings and baseball bats.
I think it's just a good yarn. It's a really, really good yarn with a kind of... it has an originality to it that I think, and I hope, makes it stand apart.
It's only because he's fond of you, Michael.
Yeah, he wants to fuck you.